Assalamualaikum and good day to Dr. Roslina. We are Group 6 from Section 2A. My name is Nurin binti Iskandar. My ID is CB19003 and I am going to present for two parts, which are ISMS implementation and ISMS area. First, what is ISMS? ISMS is an abbreviation of Information Security Management System, and ISMS is a system to manage an organization's information security. ISMS is a centralized platform that allows organizations to manage, monitor, review, and enhance the information security processes all in one location. It includes rules, procedures, and controls that intend to achieve three goals of information security, which are confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay, we choose an organization which is Ministry of Education, MOE. As you can see, this is the screen capture of MOE website that shows the cybersecurity policy of MOE that can be accessed on MOE website. MOE cybersecurity policy covers protection on all forms of electronic information to ensure the security of such information and availability to all authorized users. There are 5 main features of information security, which are first, confidentiality. Information must not be disclosed or allowed to be accessed without permission. The second one is integrity. The data and information must be accurate, complete, and up to date. It can only be changed in a way that is permissible. The third one is irrefutable. Sources of data and information must be from legitimate and irrefutable sources. Next, validity. The data and information must be guaranteed to be valid. And the last one is availability. Data and information should be accessible on any time. Okay, the second part is ISMS area. We choose area number 5, which is access control. Access control policy of MOE is to control access to information. Access to processes and information should be restricted based on the security needs and job responsibilities of various users. There are 4 regulations to obey, which are access control over ICT assets according to security needs and user roles. The second one is to access control over internal and external network services. Next, information security is achieved using mobile facilities or equipment. And the last one is to control over information processing facilities. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter, which is Nathania Grace. Thank you.
Good day, madam. My name is Nathania Grace Mahadevan, metric ID CB18166, and I'm from Section 2A, Group 6. So today I will be speaking about the description of work product for Group 6. So for the work product, we have chosen the organization, the Ministry of Education Malaysia, MOE, and the system is the School Examination Analysis System, which is SAPS. So this system can only be accessed by a unique username and password, which is assigned specifically by the Ministry of Education of Malaysia to prevent any unauthorized access. So this system actually stores real-time data of school students' grades, and it only can be accessed by authorized personnel which are registered under the Ministry of Education, MOE. So the data stored here cannot be altered or added or deleted by any other outer unauthorized personnel. This system also analyzes the data of students and teachers. So this system also conducts analysis on the examination results of the students. So the system will analyze how many students have failed the subject or the examination, or how many students have passed the certain subject or certain examination. So this system will also make sure that new employees are trained to operate the software. So only trained employees can operate the software. This system will have an audit trail where inspection can be done. So wherever there is a trouble with the quality of the software, an audit trail will happen to inspect the system's overall performance. So the users for the SAPs are, number one, specifically are the teachers. The teachers are able to key in the marks of the student for each examination. There will be a deadline for it. And then the students are only able to view their exam marks. They cannot edit or delete their data. And also the last is the education officers who are able to monitor the data input and output, and also other activities of the SAPs. So the education officers are the one who are monitoring and also giving out the unique username and password and registering teachers and students under the system. The students are only able to log in via their IC, their zone, and their school while they are still studying in a certain government school. After that, they are unable to log in. After finishing school, they are unable to log in anymore because they are no longer registered under the Ministry of Education, under SAPs. So that is all from me, madam. Thank you very much. I will pass on to my next member.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hasbullah Ahmad and my matric ID is CB17057. Okay, for the quality attribute in work product, the first quality attribute is usability, and the relevant is the software stability requirement document for SAPS by MOI stated in field 3 human resources security. List the following things to be observed while in the survey, including the following. There are 4. Ensure user as well as third parties that are interested in managing asset security ICT based on laws and regulations set by the MOI. And the second, ensure that awareness and related training on ICT asset security management is given to MOI ICT users on an ongoing basis in performing their duties and responsibilities, and if necessary, given to the interested third party from time to time. And there are other 2. And for the second quality attribute is testability. The relevant is the software testability requirement document for SAPS by Ministry of Education state in the field 8 operational safety. List the following audit trail specification. Each system must have an audit trail. The audit trail record the activities that take place in the system in chronological order to allow inspection and reconstruction to be done for the range and changes in an event. The audit trail should contain the following. There are 4. First, record of each transaction activity. Audit trail information contain user identities, resources used, change information, date and time of activity, network and application use, user activities on ICT system either legally or otherwise, and lastly, abnormal system activity information and activities that do not have security features. And the other part is tool for measuring quality activity. The tool used for measuring quality attribute is Fishbone. Fishbone is a visual tool for sorting out the many root of a problem. A Fishbone diagram combine the process of brainstorming with a form of mind map template, and it is commonly used for root cause analysis. And this is the Fishbone for the school examination analysis system SAPS, and the quality attribute is usability and testability. And to meet the usability, there are criteria. There are 3 criteria, which is operability, training, and communicativeness. And to meet the testability quality, there are 4, which is simplicity, instrumentation, self-descriptiveness, and modularity.
Good day, madam. My name is Maghesan, anak lelaki Sathasivam, matrix ID CB18044. And now I'll be presenting my question, which is the checklist for review session. As you can see here, this is the checklist on how to create a software design document. We have 5 statuses, which I will explain in the next slide. So here we can see there are a few activities, 18 activities, which are organized carefully in their stages. The initial stage, planning, reviews, verification and validation, and also the final stage. So in the initial stage, we have 3, which are check design methodology, identify resources, and choose software structure. Design methodology, it can be waterfall or any methodology that works well with the design document. Next, when we look at the planning stage, we have prepare detailed design, consult stakeholders with design approach, construct logical data model, and create functional design document. Detailed design is very important so that the developers can get a flow of how the system can work. That is very important. Next is to consult with the stakeholders so that the system design is actually met the requirements of the stakeholders. And construct logical data model is important so that the system can be tested properly during the later stages. Next is the review stage. Functional design review is carried on, and then the system architecture is specified. This maybe the system is web application and we are using Laravel, which is MVC architecture. So it must be specified on how the architecture works and so on and so forth. Next is to analyze the cost benefits of the system architecture. This is to ensure a good risk management. Next is to construct a physical data model, which is based on the logical data model on the earlier stage. Next stage is the verification and validation. Here, we will manage changes to the system if there are bugs, errors, or maybe the stakeholders wanted some changes. And then finally, the system design document is created successfully. Once that, a critical design review is conducted to ensure everything is done perfectly. Once all that is done, the stakeholders will review the system to ensure it meets their requirements. And the final stage is the prepare SQA milestones. This is to ensure that the system meets the quality. The software quality are determined by the stakeholders. And then maintenance will be carried out if there are any errors and problems in the system. And finally is to review the project before closing and moving forward for the testing um, testing stage. Here we can see on how to use the checklist. As I mentioned before about the statuses, there are 5. Not started, in progress, complete, on hold, and overdue. So as you can see here, there are 3 activities. The first one is check design methodology and the status is complete. So which means the activity has been completed correctly before the due date. And the due date is, which means the activities must be done before the set due date. And as you can see here, it is approved by Mr. Alex and there are no remarks, which shows that the activity is done completely without any errors. And the next activity, identify resources. The status is overdue. Remarks shows why it is overdue. In this case, it is waiting for budget analysis. So since it is waiting for something, the status is overdue. Next activity is the choose software structure, and the status is on hold. Why is it on hold? Because it is waiting for resource identification, which is the second activity, which shows that the third activity cannot be carried on without the second activity coming to an complete. So this is how the checklist can be used. It is very simple and also precise and easy to be analyzed by anyone. And on the top, we have the project title, client name, and the deadline for the overall project. The overall design document. So that is all from my part. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good day. So I will present the next part, which is personal review process. Okay, so for the CMI process area, technical solution in CMI level 3 defined is chosen. Because Ministry of Education already has established process that the personnel need to follow. So there is no need to start from scratch. And then technical solution is analyzing, designing, and implementing the solution from the requirements for the product, which in this case, the product is the SAPS system. So in the designing part, software design document is the designing part. So SDD is a document that will describe the design of the software developed based on the software requirement specification, which contain the requirements. And then, okay, so introduction for the personal review. Personal review is one of the two types of review, which is conducted by the developer itself. And then it doesn't need another reviewer. So it's done by the developer to find and fix defects. And then the personal review should be done before an activity that use the software product. Okay, so this is my proposed personal review process. For the entry criteria, there is none. So the input for the personal review process is the software design document. And then the activities of the process personal review is, okay, first, they need to print because in personal review is recommended to print all the documents. So first, then we need to print the checklist for the software design document, IEEE standard 1016 1998, which is the IEEE recommended practice for software design descriptions. And then they also need to print all the associated software requirement specification because the SDD is based on the SRS. And then they also need to print the software design document to be reviewed. And then for the second activity is review the software design document using the first item in the checklist for the software design document and cross this item off when the review of the software design document is completed. And then continue the review of the software design document using the next item on the checklist for the software design document, and then repeat until all the items in the list have been checked. And then correct any defect that have been identified, and then check that each correction did not create other defects. So for the exit criteria and the output is the corrected software design document. And then we also need to measure the effort used to review and correct the software design document. Measure in person hours with an accuracy of plus minus 15 minutes. That's it. Thank you.